Hey everyone, so for my Stackathon, I wanted to kind of recreate like a Marauder's map from Harry Potter, which basically would show where everyone on your local Wi-Fi network is in relation to like a floor plan, right? So two caveats before I get into it. One, let me just load up my secure server because that's the only way I could access geolocation. Through the API. So two things. One, how beautiful is that floor plan? Second, this coincidentally is a floor plan for the 11th floor, which is where I kind of first saw this presentation happening. So I had to tweak it a bit just to show some data. But essentially, what is happening behind the scenes here is the browser is using an API to get a user's geolocation coordinates, so latitude, longitude. I essentially mapped that to a canvas element. And as I'm not really moving, I'm kind of just hovering in the same space. So once again, this is like ideal for like the 11th floor. But right now, I just kind of made it so like at least I'll be showing up in the same spot on the canvas while I present. Now the cool thing is, if you were to, I'm using socket.io. So if I were to just join like as a different browser, I can then just like write my name. I'm seeing where my other person is, and then I'm Kevin. So it's going to be kind of weird because they're all on the same spot. But essentially, you can imagine that if like a lot of people are connected to this page and have their browser open as they're like walking around the floor, you'll actually see like kind of like movement. Some challenges along the way was like there's definitely a lot of noise with the API, like it's or with the coordinates. It's like the coordinates are accurate up to like the 4th or 5th decimal place. So like there's a lot of, and there's like a bit of a range in there. So some of the challenges were just like, literally for the first 2 days, I was just like, you probably saw me like walking around the floor like a bunch, just like collecting data just to see if there was like kind of consistent patterns. And then if I were kind of just to stay in like one area of the floor for a while, you would just see like, it would kind of be scattered, but you would essentially have a lot of like footprints in that space. Places I could see this going, I obviously had to like hard code some of the like functionality just for this presentation, but I could imagine just utilizing kind of like user inputs for like floor latitude and longitude to make your own floor plan, and then like anyone could kind of easily have this interaction with people on their local Wi-Fi. And then I wanted to also kind of like make a game, which I didn't get to because I guess not enough time, but essentially like if you could kind of like curse the map, and then like one person gets like turns red or something, and then if they get close enough to someone else, they get that kind of curse, and then I think it's just a cool way to interact with people via just these APIs. So yeah, WebSockets. If we go down to the 11th floor later, we could actually see people walking around the floor. So I would love to show you guys that. Other than that, just experimenting. If I had to do something different, I was just working kind of natively with the canvas. Like I didn't use any libraries. Which I think I would have done because when I draw like a footprint, I'm just like drawing pixels. It's not like an object. So essentially, there would be functionalities where I can easily clear like a footstep previously. So it just kind of looks like you're walking. Yeah, and then that was kind of like the biggest challenge, just like getting. I never worked with the canvas before, so it was kind of interesting. But yeah, it's kind of cool when you see everyone walking around. So. Yeah, that's my presentation. Thanks, guys, and we'll try it later.